Well, I know one thing's for sure. This Senator's Only Lobster special is unreal. I have got to post it.
Oh, are you sure? It's pretty expensive. Won't your constituents be mad?
Honey, don't worry about it. You know what they say, huh? There's an app on my phone that exists for that purpose.
Introducing Expenstagram, the photo sharing app for Tory caucus members and senators. Share your expenses right from your phone. Just snap a picture,
Nice.
choose your filter, and you're ready to post.
It's great. Bon appetit.
Crop your election expenses and get them looking their best. Take a picture of your province and make it look like your house is there. Or just cover any picture in this thing. So let people know you like fiscal accountability with the app that's like fiscal accountability. Expenstagram. It's time to be responsible for some great photos.
Hi there, I'm Darren Howard.
And I'm Robert Nisbet.
We are live on location in downtown Kelowna right now, right by the sales. Traffic's going by, and the traffic is happening on the news.
That's right, there's all kinds of Tory troubles going on.
Tory troubles? Say it's not so. Yes, indeed. Mr. Duffy's in trouble.
Kamala Wallen's in trouble.
Yes, indeed, and they're throwing Nigel Wright right underneath the bus right now. And we've got background for you. You're tuned into Video Radio on Radio Free Canada. Okay, let's take a look at this.
The throne speech began on a somber note, with a call to remember the victims of this summer's disaster in Lac-Mégantic. The speech is titled Seizing Canada's Moment, and it presents a rosy picture of Canada's future and the Conservatives' plans to move the country forward. Prime Minister Stephen Harper's government has long focused on the economy, and this throne speech continues that theme. Harper saying not only will he balance the budget in 2015 as promised, but now saying he'll introduce balanced budget legislation, freeze the government's operating budget, there will be more spending cuts, and make the civil service more efficient.
Guided by this example, our government will continue reducing the size and cost of government to ensure that taxpayers get value for money.
There's also lots of goodies for consumers, promises to cut cell phone roaming fees, and allow you to pick and choose the cable TV channels you want. The Tories also promising to expand no-cost banking services. On the law and order front, the Conservatives are promising a Victims' Bill of Rights, new measures to combat cyberbullying, and saying for some criminals, they're ready to lock them up and throw away the key. Now, for the opposition, this is not a roadmap that's generating much enthusiasm.
Stephen Harper is obviously continuing his attempts to change the channel. It's going to take more than a few of his watered-down attempts to copy NDP policies on consumer issues to get Canadians to believe that he's actually changed his mind.
And if there's any doubt this is a populist throne speech, consider this. There's a law currently on the books preventing anyone from carrying a bottle of wine, beer, or booze across provincial borders. The Tories say they're going to get rid of this law, which means soon anyone carrying a bottle of wine across one of the bridges behind me into Quebec won't be breaking the law.
All right. Okay.
So it seems that Harper's new agenda is to keep people focused on consumerism and not worry about all those other things that are going on, like this nasty Senate scandal.
Yes, I know. 1 in 5 Canadian children going hungry, 300,000 Canadian homeless, and he's worried about cell phone bills and cable.
Exactly. You know, that doesn't seem like a really high priority political objective to me, but, you know, I'm not a politician.
I don't even have cable.
Yeah, I know.
So,
well, why would you? There's nothing on it anyway.
But let's catch up to Mr. Duffy, yes?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so check this out.
There was no answer at the door of Mike Duffy's house today, but answers are what police are looking for. New court documents reveal allegations of fraud and breach of trust. The RCMP alleged Duffy hired a friend as a consultant over an approximate 4-year period and paid him a total of approximately $65,000 during that time for little or no apparent work. Duffy's friend was Gerald Donahue, a retired TV executive who knew Duffy back when he was a reporter pursuing politicians. The documents show Duffy hired Donahue to monitor media and brief the senator on current issues and to write and edit speeches. Donahue wasn't talking today and called police to keep reporters away from his house. But when the RCMP interviewed him, they found Donohue never did speechwriting for Duffy. In fact, Donohue did not produce any tangible document, report, or work product. Donohue did own a construction supply company. In his conversations with police, he said the money he received was paid to the business and that he never personally received any of it. Donohue says he never funneled any money back to Duffy. The RCMP wants to see the company's bank records to find out where the money went. Police are getting a picture of Duffy's dealings from Stephen Harper's former chief of staff, Nigel Wright, the man who wrote a $90,000 check to help Duffy pay back different Senate expenses. The court documents show Wright turned over hundreds of pages of emails, as well as Duffy's confidential schedule. The documents also detail allegations against former Conservative Patrick Brazeau. Police accuse him of defrauding the Senate by filing inappropriate housing expense claims. Senator Mike Duffy issued a statement tonight saying it would be inappropriate for him to comment on a matter still under police investigation. A new session of Parliament is set to begin next week. The Conservative government will be looking for a fresh start in the House of Commons, but that may be overshadowed by the lingering troubles here in the Senate. Tom Parry, CBC News, Ottawa.
So it seems that Mr. Duffy has more troubles than just his Senate expense scandal. He's paying people to do no work at all, but isn't that typical of politics?
By the way, Rob Ford. At any rate, the Senate scandal is really on there. I think he was, answering questions for 20 minutes?
Yeah, but he was also, pitching grenades at the, Tory caucus and the Tory party.
Yeah, I know. Nigel Wright, almost feel sorry for the guy. Almost. We would like to hear more, but, we do have a clip coming up talking about the fact that 63% of Canadians say if Harper lied, he should step down or get kicked out or be fired.
What do you think?
I think fired. No UI, no welfare.
Oh, yeah, but he'll get that golden parachute anyway.
He's a Bilderberger anyways. So check it out. Senate suspensions, okay?
Senators Pamela Wallin, Mike Duffy, and Patrick Brazeau weren't in the upper chamber today, and it's possible they won't be allowed to set foot in this place for another 2 years. Conservative leader in the Senate, Claude Carignan, wants them all suspended from the Senate without pay.
The principle is that when you have a bad behavior and you use your privilege to abuse of the power, and it could imply a disciplinary sanction.
Sanctions would strip them of all office resources and the ability to claim any expenses. Now, the Liberals contend this is the Conservatives' attempt to change the channel.
These three senators were appointed by Prime Minister Harper, and they were there to serve his interests. They are his appointees, and he is responsible.
Even though the three senators were Conservatives, some Liberals don't think it's fair.
On the principle of fairness, two of them have not been charged criminally with either a summary conviction offense or an indictable offense.
Senator Duffy preempted the suspension this morning, saying he's taking medical leave because of heart problems. My GP suggests, he says, that to avoid further stress on my system, I stay off work until I get the all clear from my medical team. Carignan believes even though he's stepping away, Duffy will still lose his Senate salary.
For me, it's not affect my proposition, my motion.
Now, this isn't a done deal just yet. The motion still has to be debated, and all three senators in question will have the opportunity to make a case for keeping their jobs.
So it's nice to see how our public dollars are being spent on investigating the Senate scandal. But you know what we should talk about?
What?
We should talk about surveillance of the people.
The NSA just got their hands busted for spying on the Vatican. They were spying on conclave. So if you're Catholic, holy crap times two.
But we're not being left out here in Canada.
No. Here in Canada, we have a spy palace being built.
Yes,
how much?
At least $1 billion. But they're spies. They're not going to tell the truth anyway.
Yeah, I know. So, look, you be the judge, okay? Check it out.
Don't tell anyone, but this building behind me is the new top-secret headquarters for Canada's super-secret spy agency. It's called the Communications Security Establishment, or CSEC, and just about everything about it is a secret. Until now. In this CBC exclusive, we take you on site. It's the most expensive government office building ever constructed in this country. By the time the project is finished, it will have cost taxpayers over $1 billion. But don't ask where all that money went. That's a secret. It will house 2,000 spies, the kind who tap phones and hack into computers. At the back of the property, there's a huge concrete bunker. It houses what is touted as the most powerful computer in the country. But don't ask what the spies are using it for. That's a secret. Behind all the magnificent architecture of steel and glass, the centerpiece of the new CSEC headquarters will be a huge fireplace, a meeting place of sorts for those who spend their days stealing other people's secrets. Greg Weston, CBC News, Ottawa.
So it's nice to know how the Canadian taxpayer is paying to be spied on by our own government.
How do you feel about that? Is that a good feeling?
Does it make you feel safe and secure?
I feel safe. I feel safe and secure every day.
Yes, I know. But don't forget when after Harper's prorogation came to an end, because he wanted to avoid the Senate scandal, they opened with the throne speech and made it very consumer friendly.
Yeah, so to finish off this segment of Tory Troubles, we are going to give you Rex Murphy's take on the throne speech. But coming up, we're going to talk about trade. Now, if anybody remembers NAFTA...
Yeah. Don't forget, the first thing they did after getting back to work was ink that deal with the EU.
So let's check out what Rex Murphy had to say, and make sure you stay tuned for part 2 coming up. Just because the Tories are having a nightmare and we want to jump right in. I'm Darren Howard.
And I'm Robert Nisbet.
Thanks for tuning in. This is Radio Free Canada.
It's so good all the small issues are settled. You know, healthcare, unemployment, a sovereign Arctic. So now we can finally tackle the real crises: roaming fees, duties on cheese. If you read the tweets or actually tuned in to listen to the GG, the message of the day was clear. Whoever said famously that the state has no business in the cable bundles or the appetizers of the nation was way, way off the beam. Because now, if you want more Kim Kardashian and less Bill Moyers, less Michelangelo and more of alligators chasing hillbillies, less Perimeter Institute and more Miley Cyrus, and who of us, in truth, does not, then Stephen Harper is your friend today. What's a national parliament for if it doesn't give you help with your TV remote? But only at a great loss to real substance. When cable packages and roaming fees claim even a fraction of the Governor-General's gracious attention, is it really a speech from the throne or an overproduced flyer from Best Buy? Then, too, it didn't gain a great deal in dignity from being, however he denies it, largely tweeted in advance by the PM. In reality, as every Canadian already knows, the speech from the throne today was all about where it was read and what wasn't said, and who might be there or not. They weren't. It's not about cable fees, it's about the state of our politics. And for now, that's the Senate. It's about patronage, about one rule for them, another for the rest of us. The Senate mess has become the emblem of Canadian politics and spread its stain to the whole system. The instruments of democracy have been abused, public trust has been shaken. A real throne speech would have tackled that, would have spoken to the rot at the center of the system, to why, even how, a government that came in on a wave of disgust at scandals has now churned up an equal wave of its own. It is the Senate ructions that have paralyzed the Conservatives and congealed their support to the pure base. It's colored the entire administration, and whether that's fair or not, it is the fact of the moment. Facing it straight up would have won the government some respect. Instead, it went for baubles, including my favorite. You can now legally take a beer from one province to another, which is really good news for very slow drinkers. For The National, I'm Rex Murphy.